Welcome to Healthy Cooking with Chef Jeff today. Stay tuned. We'll be doing some exciting food today, dealing with cabbage and corned beef and potatoes. Stay tuned. Welcome to Healthy Cooking with Chef Jeff today. Today is I think a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining. The beginning of spring, I should say. But today I'm doing two things. One is a classic Reuben sandwich with corned beef, Russian dressing, a little bit of sauerkraut and some Swiss cheese on rye bread, traditional rye bread. And also doing a dish, I hope I say this right, coquina. It's an Irish dish. This is my second time making this dish. It consists of potatoes, cabbage, a little bit of corned beef gonna be put in the mix also, right along with onions and some skim milk. We're gonna have all those things going on today. And I'm also gonna do one demonstration too, using that coquina. All right, I'm gonna put my own spin on it. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Right here, I got a pot going with a little bit of water, seasoned water. And we're gonna put some potatoes in that and let them cook. And in the meantime, I'm gonna be doing other stuff, such as putting together the Reuben sandwich while the potatoes are cooking. And then we'll move on from that to something else. All right, well, let me get started on cutting potatoes. I'm using red beet potatoes. Those seems to be the potatoes that works best for this dish. And this dish also consists of cabbage. So you know the traditional corned beef and cabbage. Now you got corned beef, cabbage, and potatoes. All right, let me go ahead and get started. It requires me to cut these red beet potatoes in a little 1/4-inch dices, like so. And I have to cut the cabbage the same way. And you can find all these products in your local grocery stores. Put these guys in here, let them do their thing. In approximately the time it takes about 30 minutes to make this dish. You know, if you got a steak or some type of chicken, you can put on the side of this, or pork, or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in my water. Kind of help it along there. It requires for about like a teaspoon of salt, and I know I probably put a little bit more than a teaspoon. That's just who I am, I guess. But I'm gonna let these guys sit here and do their thing. In the meantime, I'm gonna give you a little story about the Reuben sandwich. Most people think the Reuben sandwiches come from Switzerland or somewhere like that, but in reality, that sandwich was put together here in the US of A. In 1925 by a guy that owned his own restaurant, and the hotel was down the street from him, and the hotel manager wanted to entertain some folks, and he wanted something totally different. So the guy had some corned beef, he had rye bread, some of his favorites, so he put it all together there and came up with his sandwich. And he made it, his last name was Reuben, so he just named it after himself. So it was unique to have that type of sandwich from Omaha, of all places. You would think something like that would be made in New York, LA, or Chicago, those big cities like that. But Omaha. The hotel manager wanted it so bad, he added it to his menu back then in 1925. And then the guy along the way, as the state fair or whatever it was there came along, and they had a competition, sandwich competition going on. So he entered his sandwich. That sandwich became, as you know now, as the Reuben sandwich. And it was sold all over America by the time it was all over done. But he entered that in 1956. By 1980, it was in every grocery store. It was in every restaurant that you can think of. But that's a unique sandwich. So that's just a little bit of history on that sandwich. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on putting the sandwich together now. We're gonna put this. Well, I guess we got some leprechauns in the building. Some nice looking leprechauns. Where you going? Wow. Wow. Surprise, surprise. But what was I talking about? A Reuben sandwich, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, and today is Reuben is on our menu today. So that's a little bit of history about the Reuben sandwich. Yeah, and rye bread is one of my favorites. I remember when I first tasted rye bread. You wouldn't believe the first kind of sandwich I had on rye bread was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on rye. And that was unique to me. Yep. I'm gonna take my bread and brush a little bit of butter on it, sort of toast up well. Most people cook these on a flat griddle or grill. Nice and toasty. Let it work it magic. And I like to take Swiss cheese, put on top of the toast, let it melt together, bring those guys together, and marinate and get to know each other. Yeah, some people say, you know. And then the dressing. Most people, I like putting my dressing on top of the cheese. So when it comes time to putting the meat and the sauerkraut on there.
Does the dressing have mayonnaise in it?
It is a mayonnaise-based dressing. But you don't necessarily have to use a Russian dressing or Thousand Island, stuff like that. You can make it your own and put whatever flavor you want on there. So that way, ooh, yeah, we're looking mighty good here. Let me turn these guys around in this skillet so they'll do the right thing, like Spike Lee say sometimes, do the right thing. All right. This is sauerkraut, just a little bit of that. Take it, put it in a pan, warm it up just a little bit. And corned beef. You know, corned beef is one of those things, you either love it or hate it. And I love it. I remember I was working at a restaurant and I first tasted corned beef. I was like, ew, this is nasty. As I got older, I began to love it. And now every time I see it, I want it. But you have to slice it deli slice. That's on a thin cut slice. Because if not, it can be kind of chewy. And if you got false teeth, you don't want that going on. Yep. Let me put these guys together here. That's a good classic corned beef sandwich. All right. Pull this guy off. Now, take one of these plates right here so people can get a good view of it. That's a good view of that sandwich. Can y'all see that out there? Straight from the skillet. Let me cut it open so you can see the inside, because it's a shame I can't show you the inside of it. It's full of viewers out there. I'm tempted to eat it, because I'm gonna eat it after I get off the air, and ain't nobody getting this sucker. You see? Can y'all see that? That's restaurant quality, you know. And corned beef, you can find it at a lot of places. The local Piggly Wiggly, grocery stores. Some people order it online, get it from a butcher up in New York. But that kind of stuff. Let me check on these potatoes here while we got these guys going. All right. Ooh, kind of hot.
Why do they call it corned beef?
It's a poached item. It's slowly poached and grain fed, and it's a center cut. So, you know, it's pickled like. It has a lot of spices in it. It's pretty much a brisket. And you shave the brisket. So you know how they do briskets off a grill and stuff like that? It's just the opposite. It's been poached with vinegar and other spices and stuff. And salt. Oh yeah. Ooh, looking kind of good. Looking kind of good. I'm gonna make sure these guys getting some tenderness to them. They got some love on them. A few more minutes on that. In the meantime, I'm gonna cut up some cabbage. I'm gonna take a few of these leaves off, and I'm gonna use these leaves later. And what I'm gonna do with the leaves, on the cocanna, I'm gonna take the cocanna and roll it up in these leaves and make it, and press it, dish out of it. You know, like I said, I put a little spin on my own stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do. And what I'm finna do now is take a little bit of stock so I can get my leaves ready for later.
That real orange juice?
No ma'am, it's not orange juice. It's a chicken stock. Yes. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the core out of the leaves and set the leaves down in it and let it steam, sort of loosen up, and when I get ready to stuff it, I'll be able to fold it. Most people would just throw this stuff away, but you know, can't afford to throw any food away. There's too many people out there just needing to eat. I'm one of them. All right. A little bit more, because we're gonna make mashed potatoes out of them guys. Now, the cabbage, any average cabbage you can make coleslaw out of. I'm gonna season it with salt and pepper, and like I said, I'm gonna add the milk to it and some margarine to it. I'm sorry? You may notice instead of cutting the cabbage completely down, I'm cutting it in a round circle. Reason why I'm doing that is, like anything else, the cabbage is gonna fall apart. So it's easy to cut that way in the portion size. And it'll cook a lot faster. Because if I cut big leaves, it takes a while to cook. See how bright green that got? Nice. I'm gonna let these guys sit down here and cool off a little bit. Now to add the black pepper to this. It requires for one teaspoon of black pepper on this. Well, you guys over here. Now I'm gonna cut up an onion. You can put any kind of onion in here. You want red onion, you could use red onion, green onion, if you like onion. If you don't even have to put any onion in there if you don't even like it. But I have seen people take corned beef, even chicken, and put in this dish and mix it all together. After you get the potatoes cooked and the cabbage cooked and mix it all together, those meats there, and they make a meal out of just that one dish and a piece of bread. So, you know, you got everything right there. All right. When we come back, we're gonna finish putting this dish together, and stay tuned. Welcome back to Healthy Cooking with Chef Jeff. Like I mentioned, we talked about the Reuben sandwich and the history of the Reuben sandwich in the dish that I'm making right now. The Colcannon dish that I'm making. That dish there is a truly Irish dish. But, you know, like everything else in America, you get Americanized and people make it their own. So, there we go. Those guys, smell that black pepper. All right, let me get me a towel here and give y'all a little preview out there. This is what it began to look like. Potatoes and carrots. Yeah, we're beginning to get it together here. All right, now I'm gonna add the margarine, butter to it, as some people say, so that cabbage will pick up all its flavor. Now to cut another onion. You know, most people say onions make them cry. They used to make me cry. I remember working at a resort that I used to work for. And the chef always had me peeling onions for the soups, the broth, the stocks, and all that kind of stuff. So here I am peeling a case of 50-pound bags of onions, and they were about the same size as this one. So that was a lot of onions. That was probably about 150 onions. Everywhere I went, even when I got home that day, you smell like an onion. Where's that onion smell coming from? You need to take a bath. Yeah. I'm sorry? No, ma'am, I done got used to them now. Really? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I never thought I would, but it took a long time for me to get used to it. Every now and then we'll get one that'll make me cry. Yeah. But, you know, some chef says your knife, it's the type of steel you use on your knife, that'll take that away. I don't know. I mean, that's a mystery to me, I should say. What did you do? Piece. Oh, I never heard of that. Never thought of that. Never made you cry. Okay. Wow. Did y'all hear what she said? She put a piece of bread in her mouth. You know? No crying. I wonder, does that work with when you get a whooping? When you get a whooping and put a piece of bread in your mouth, you can't hear them crying. Now I'm adding the milk to it now. Since it has reduced a little bit and the cabbage leaves begin to get a little tender on this. And then all I gotta do is let it sit there and do its thing. And of course I gotta add the onions to it. I'm not gonna add all these onions to it because I think personally that'll be a little bit too much. But following the recipe, that ought to be good enough. Move these guys off to the side. And like I said, on the presentation of this, I'm gonna take corned beef, a little bit of corned beef on it, a little bit of that, stuff it with it, and roll it up. And I may even just do a different type of presentation since I still got a few potatoes left. Cut these guys a little thin. Let them cook a little bit in the stock. Let those guys do their thing. Man, I didn't realize this dish is going to take this long. I guess if I had a big oven. But it's coming together real good. And you may notice I'm using a wooden spoon because metal on metal type stuff. And it stretches the surface of your product. Ooh, yeah. I wish that leprechaun would come back by so she can see what I'm doing in her pot. Now I think that's what really got me confused and forgot what I was doing. I'm gonna try to hold this up so you can see it a little bit different again. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see that? As it reduce, like I said, the mashed potatoes. Thank you. Imagine if I had garlic. We would sure enough be smelling. All right. This is an awkward morning. This is the first time I've ever been quiet. How many of y'all, this is y'all first time here to the show? Well, welcome to the show. I'm gonna make sure you get a little bit of this to taste too. Yep. I'm sorry? How much water? I started with half a quart of water. Yeah. but the cabbage itself carried water too. And I was hoping the potatoes would absorb it. If I had a white potato, just a regular russet potato, it probably would have absorbed all that because it has much more starch than the red beet potato.
But you left the skin on.
I did leave the skin on. Yep. These guys here getting to get right. And what I'm trying to do is get these tender enough so I can roll them up on top of the corned beef, right along with this.
What is that?
These are potatoes.
Oh, those potatoes in
Yes, yes, shaved like that. They're real thin. We're almost there. This is really looking good. It is almost like a gravy.
red potato. No, that's a red potato. Red.
All right. Now that's what that looked like, and I'll cut it open and let you look at the inside of it. I'm gonna let you look at the inside of this. See how it came out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
Can you see that? See how it came out?
Yeah.
The inside?
You're pretty good.
I'm okay. I'm okay. Yep. But while I'm waiting on that also, let me change gloves and do a presentation on this sandwich here. I got your Coke ready for your sandwich. So another pair of gloves. Uh-oh. I need to hurry up. I got people leaving on me. And here's your Coke and a sandwich. And the other half of that sandwich. And if you go to a deli, they're going to charge you $10 for that sandwich. And that's it for our show for today. Thank you.